Hey folks, Dr. Mike Israel here for Renaissance Periodization for the bonus video with your templates, making sure to categorize your workouts and thus your nutrition for either hard, moderate, light, or non-training days. Just to make sure we really dive into this. Now, mind you, this is covered pretty extensively in the frequently asked questions if you want this in written form. The how-to guide really beats this up. But we're going to dive even deeper here just in case there's some confusion. We've been selling these templates and clients have been having great success with them for years now. Thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of successes. They're super easy to use, but one of our most common questions is just a bit of confusion about I do a workout and how is it that I'm eating for the day? Is it going to be a light day? Is it going to be a moderate day? Is it going to be a hard day? Now the thing is, non-training day is super easy to figure out. It's when you're not training with weights. If you're doing pure cardio, unless you're a cardio performance athlete, an endurance athlete, in which case there's instructions on the how-to, if you're doing cardio just for fat loss or general health, it's a non-training day. So you just scroll all the way down to the bottom of your template and you eat a non-weight training day style. Super easy. But if you do work out, how do we figure out what is it going to be? Is it going to be a light day? Is it going to be a moderate day? Is it going to be a hard day? All of the stuff in the FAQ and the how-to applies. Let me just make it simpler for you and really to the point. First thing, a hard day is the following criteria. It's got to be very likely, now mind you, all of these are relative. There's not exactly a correct answer because human bodies are so different, situations are so different. But if you use these guidelines, if you check off enough boxes, it starts to be clear what day it is. Hard day is usually 2 hours or more of really tough exercising, of really tough working out. If you're doing a workout with sets and reps, bodybuilding style stuff, it's usually 26 sets or more. Working sets, not warm-ups, working sets. Right? We're talking about, 10 total sets of squats and leg presses, and then 10 total sets of upper body work, and then 6 or more sets of arms and shoulders, and now we're talking just in one day, all that stuff. Now we're talking about possibly a hard day on your nutrition template. Here's the deal about a hard day. The effort level and the volume of the work has to be superlative. A day in which you come in and you train and it's pretty tough and you get your sweat on and you leave going, ooh, that was a tough one, ladies, and you fist pump with everyone, that's not a hard day. A hard day is one in which it's for sure a hard day if you question your religious beliefs, right? You question your existence in the universe after the workout, like, oh my God, what is going on? What's my name? That is really a hard day. So if you want to be sure if it's a hard day, it's got to hit all of those. It's got to be 2 hours or longer. It's got to be 26 working sets if you're doing working sets as opposed to intervals or something like that. And it has to feel superlative, incredibly challenging deep down to the core. That is a hard day. If it doesn't meet any one of those criteria, it might be a moderate day. And we'll get to how to fix whether or not it's one or the other in just a bit. Moderate day, excuse me, is about 1 to 2 hours of exercise, continuous. Okay, so it's a session that's 1 to 2 hours long, and it's 10 to 25 bodybuilding style sets, work sets. If you're doing work sets, it's somewhere between 10 and 25 sets. So if it's over 25 sets, it might be hard, right? If it's under 10 sets, it might be light and not moderate, and it's pretty dang tough. Right? A moderate day is just a moderate day in the technical classification of nutrition. It doesn't actually feel moderate. It feels a really tough. 1 to 2 hour workout is a big deal. That's tough stuff. Remember, these templates are originally made on the basis of high-level athletes. And a lot of our clients that use them are very high-level athletes. So to them, this is moderate. And if you're using the templates, so it is for you. So it's 1 to 2 hours, 10 to 25 sets potentially if you're doing work sets. And it's pretty tough. Excuse me, hopefully I won't die by the time these templates are released. Super mega cold. So that's a moderate workout, and if that's the case, if your workout fits into there, you eat, and I'm going to show you in a bit what that means, in the moderate column of your carbohydrate intake for that day on the templates. Now, maybe it's a light day. What's a light day? It's when you do less than an hour of physical activity, right? That could mean 55 minutes. That's still a light day. 10 working sets or less, all right? And it's not super difficult, right? Meh is the technical classification there. You go and you train. It's a hard workout, but you feel okay. You feel fine. It wasn't like really tough like a moderate one is, or superlative in a religious experience like the hard was, okay? It's not super challenging. It's 10 work sets or less potentially, now not exclusively, and it's less than an hour long. Notice, there are 3 qualifications there. What if they're contradictory, okay? What if we have a workout that's 55 minutes long, so it's light session, but it's 15 or even 20 sets? Okay, we managed to really squeeze in some sets, and it feels pretty tough. Which one do we use? Here's the deal. This is an incredibly important rule that's going to simplify a ton of this for you. If any of the qualifications, whether it's for duration or set number or how hard it feels or how sweaty you are, if any of those qualifications don't match, right? If they're contradictory, one looks like it should be hard based on this guideline, one looks like it should be moderate, right? Or one looks like moderate, one looks like moderate, but one looks like light. If there's any question, especially if you're generally speaking also yes, but especially if you're on a fat loss phase, on a fat loss diet, err on the lower side. So if there's any question, if you're questioning to yourself, okay, seems like it should be moderate, but it might be hard based on at least one of these, the answer is moderate, right? Especially on fat loss, but for everything else as well, right? Unless you really have trouble gaining weight, right, and you're really stalling, usually just progressing through the tabs will take care of that anyway, then maybe you just average up. But almost always, if you're watching this video and you're on a fat loss guide, which you probably are, most people buy these things for fat loss, and you have to ask yourself, if there's any confusion, is it a hard day or a moderate day? It's a moderate day. If there's any confusion, is it a moderate day or a light day? It's a light day. That way you make sure to definitely not eat too much food for the day you have, and at worst, you'll just lose weight a little bit too quickly. That's a great problem to have. We promise you'll still recover. It's still enough nutrients for you to make sure that you're not going to lose muscle. That's not a concern. So again, if there is a question of which one it is, and there almost always will be, very rarely does everything line up perfectly to check off all the boxes. And if it does, it's definitely that day, right? So if you have like a 3-hour workout that's 30 total working sets and you feel like quitting training forever afterwards, it's definitely a hard day. You don't have to be like, was that moderate? But if you have to honestly ask if one of those doesn't match up, and you're honestly asking yourself like, was that really a hard day, or was that really moderate, or was it really light? Err on the lower side. So if it's a question between moderate and hard, choose moderate. If it's a question between moderate and light, choose light. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, another thing, just a quick reminder. The volume, the amount of activity you do is more important in determining the days that you follow than the intensity, which is how hard you're working at any one time. So for example, if you have 3 sets of 2 in the squat at 95% of your 1 rep max, you have to get amped for that stuff. That is really a crazy effort to do 3 sets of 2 at 95%. That'll push you to your limits. Intensity is incredibly high, both psychological, perceived, and in the technical sports science sense of what percent of your 1 rep max you're lifting, how much force you're generating. Those are all super high. So you figure, oh man, that's gotta get me into a moderate or hard, but it doesn't. Because that whole workout might only take like 30 minutes. And the total number of sets is less than 10. It's only 6 working sets. So on both of those categories, you score a light. And the thing is, because intense efforts don't really burn a whole lot of calories or carbs, they're psychologically very taxing. It's voluminous efforts, running 10 miles. For example, if you're in shape to run 10 miles straight, and you're in really good shape, that might not even feel that tough for you. But on the sheer amount of work that is, that's at least a moderate day for most people. So the thing is that it's about the work amount much more than about how hard that work is. So if you have a really intense day, but it's super short in duration, it's not a lot of sets, it's gonna be a light day. That's not to insult powerlifters such as myself, such as many of you, or weightlifters that do really tough workouts from an intensity and psychology perspective. It's just that we don't need as much food as individuals involved in endurance sport or in fitness sport or in bodybuilding. They do a ton of work, and that work literally burns carbohydrates in their muscles, and those need to be replenished based on the adjustments of the light, moderate, or hard level of carbs. Now, speaking of which, let's turn to, and this should pop up on your screen conveniently, how to read your template to make sure you're doing it accurately, meal per meal, day per day, to figure out if it's light, moderate, or hard. So basically, let's say we're training on the second tab, right? Training after one meal. Let's say that's your schedule. So meal number 1 is 1 to 3 hours before you work out, basically some point between waking up and working out. And what we're going to do is just scroll right across from left to right in the same row. So we have 30 grams of protein from a protein source that we choose from those categories. Sweet. We have, in this example, for this particular weight of individual, we have 3 cups. Okay, so we have 3 cups of veggies of any choice. Sweet. We put those in the meal. For this particular one, and it's a fat loss 3 tab, the healthy fats column is empty, which means we don't put any added healthy fats. We just let the fats from the meats do their work. And then we get in to the actual amounts of healthy carbs. That presents us with 3 columns: light, moderate, and hard. Okay. So which one do we choose? Well, it depends on what kind of workout we're having. Let's say we plan our workout in advance and go, okay, today is going to be a moderate workout. Great. So then we just scroll right past the light tab. We don't even have to look at it. We go right to the moderate tab, and it says, or the moderate cell, and it says 15 grams of carbs from healthy carbs. Perfect. We eat the 15 grams. This hard says 25. We don't get the 25 because it wasn't a hard. And that's it. That's that meal built together to get what we want. A little bit more, not so complex, but different is the workout shake. Let's say we get to the workout shake. It's meal number 2 here. All right. We put 30 grams of whey protein and water. Perfect. That's ingredient number 1. You'll notice there's no veggies. That's kind of disgusting. Like if you want to blend veggies and put them in your workout shake, go for it, I guess. It's not the best way to do things sports science-wise, and you might throw up everywhere. There's no healthy fats, no veggies. Then we get to the healthy carbs. Now, usually it's just the same thing, right? Where, we have these 3 columns, but the good news is for workout carbs, it's simpler than that. We scroll all the way to the right, and we check off and see how many workout carbs there are for that day, and it's usually just one number. And the good thing is that number is almost always the same for hard, moderate, and light. How can that be? How can light workouts, moderate workouts, and hard workouts need the same amount of carbs? They don't. They need different carbs, but those carbs are made up for in the pre-workout meal, post-workout meal, and all the other meals of the day. So the shake can stay the same size for your simplicity, right? These are super easy to use templates. So usually you would take in whatever number of protein, in this case examples, 30 grams of whey protein water with 30 grams of workout carbs of your choice. No problem. But on certain templates, particularly as the fat loss phases progress, from fat loss 1 to fat loss 2 to fat loss 3, at some point we have to get rid of those carbs to cut the calories, even from the shake. So when that happens, for example, let's say it's a light workout for this particular example, as we scroll past the light column, it says no carbs, just whey. What does that mean? It means exactly what you think it means. When you make your workout shake, that meal, when you make that shake, you take 30 grams of whey, you start scrolling to find how many carbs, and if it's a light day, it says no carbs, just whey. So we just leave our whey protein, 30 grams in water, and we don't ever put any carbs in. If it happens to be a moderate day in this example, sometimes it'll give you the carbs. It'll give you nothing at all, and that means you just keep scrolling, and it's 30 grams of carbs as usual. But this time, even our moderate day says no carbs, just whey. So even if it's a moderate day, this deep into a fat loss, which is fat loss 3, which makes sense, it's all of our power to lose fat, the lowest calories. Again, it says no carbs, just whey, so you get your 30 grams of protein, scroll over, it says no carbs, just whey. That's it, right? You gotta just use your whey and not put any carbs in. Now, if it's a hard day, in this example, we same 30 grams of whey protein, we scroll all the way over, and there's nothing special written in the hard column for healthy carbs. All right, there's nothing special written, which is good, and then we scroll over and we see 30 grams of workout carbs. So then we do put in our workout carbs. So the simple rule is, if in the workout shake, there's no actually anything written in the healthy carbs column, you have the same carbs as it says in the workout carbs and the protein. If there's something written, it's going to be no carbs, just whey. And then you still have your whey protein shake, but you don't put any of the workout carbs in it. Simple as that. Folks, best of luck. If this is still confusing, make sure to check out the frequently asked questions document, the how-to document. If you're still super duper confused, shoot us a message over renaissanceperiodization.com. We have a Zendesk chat for customer service. And if you really want the in-depth insights, RP Plus, our community of RP members, you can even go to RP Clients on Facebook, ask, we'll get you this information, we'll get you onto your success, lose fat, gain muscle, and everything will be peachy. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you guys next time.